It's your girl Nancy Red, and this is season 3 of Mompreneurs, where every week we celebrate beautiful Black entrepreneurs who are simultaneously amazing business moguls and awesome moms, listening to their life stories and inspiring advice. Okay, right now I need to give you a little bit of business information. So in startup culture, the definition of a unicorn is actually a pretty new, brand new often company with a value of over 1 billion. This is really difficult to accomplish, hence the unicorn coinage, right? But my next guest is 100% a unicorn, not only figuratively, but literally, okay? April Showers, and yes, that is her real amazing name, is the mompreneur behind Afro Unicorn, which is the first Black-owned, woman-founded business to sell a licensed character in major retail. We're going to get into what that means, but essentially that means there's Mickey, there's Bluey, and there's Afro Unicorn. And y'all, this is huge. And I am so honored to welcome the incredible April Showers to Mompreneurs. Welcome, girl.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Nancy. I love that intro. Thank you
It's
for
all
having
nothing
me.
but facts, right?
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
It's, you are really great. Okay, and we're going to get in all the reasons why, how you are so inspiring because you did it and it can be done. You broke the ceiling, and that just means there's room for more people, right?
That part. That part. I am the first, but I don't want to be the only one.
That's always the goal. That's why we have this show, girl. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty about what makes you a unicorn of an entrepreneur, well, an Afro unicorn, talk to us about what makes you a mom. Tell us about your household. Who makes you a mompreneur?
Well, I am the single mother of two amazing honor roll student boys, Jesse, age 17, who's graduating this year from high school, and Christopher, who's 13, who's going into high school this year. So they are the ones that make me an amazing mom.
Oh, I love that. Shout out single mom. My mama was a single mom. And I'd love to know which came first in your life, motherhood or entrepreneurship?
I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. So I would say entrepreneurship. I've always had entrepreneurial spirit. So that came first. I started when I was like 19 having my first business. So the entrepreneurial
Wow.
spirit
Okay,
first.
what was your first business when you were 19?
I had an agency where I would contract out people to be assistants, PAs for other people in the industry.
Okay, so wait. So you knew from an early age that a business, in order to scale, can't just be on your back. It needed to be something where you could do something in bulk. That's incredible. At 19, you understood April wasn't going to be enough to get you where you needed to go. You needed a crew, right?
Right. I needed multiple Aprils, especially because in the industry that I was in, people were looking for me to assist them, and I couldn't be everything to everyone at the same time. So my mindset was go find other hardworking people like yourself and partner them with
That's
others.
incredible. I love that. It's funny because we were talking a few months ago about our bonnet and bonnet book giveaway, which was amazing because, of course, there are Afro Unicorn bonnets. There's Afro Unicorn everything now, which is so awesome. I asked you if entrepreneurship ran in your family. And at first you were like, I don't think so. But then, as we talked, you've realized that maybe it did, right?
Right, because my father, by trade, he was a mechanic, and so every Saturday he would have the driveway filled with cars. So I did see it at a very, very young age.
Right, like he was a mechanic for his paycheck, but on the weekend he had a side hustle being the mechanic and not having someone take part of his check.
Correct. It was you for the very first time to make me see that because I always like, no, my parents work for the state. They're 9 to 5. But I'm like, my daddy did have a side hustle while he was working.
Well, I think that's one of the things why this show is so popular and why we're in season 3 is because, quite frankly, in our community, we've always had to. We have a wage gap. We've had so much against us that if you solely depend on a paycheck, generally speaking, it's very difficult to make it. And that is why I think entrepreneurship is such a great route for mothers. What do you think? Do you think that being an entrepreneur has helped you be a better mother? Has it taken away? Like, what do you think?
I always say that you should never rely on one source to dictate your livelihood. So you definitely, as a mother, as a person who has to pay bills, you shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket. And it definitely helps when it comes to parenting because you just learn how to make things work and how to make them happen when you do not have a direct paycheck that's being handed to you week after week. So you build this grit that you can pass down to your children that they can use as they go through their life's journey.
Absolutely. I think that's a common theme. And it's like, do you remember Live in Color? I got teen jobs, man. I have the washer wisher man. I have the firefighter. I have the cook. I mean, it's literally part of our lives, and I enjoy it, and you do too. And sometimes you see one of those hustles turning into more. And when you look at it, approximately since you were 19 until now, approximately how many businesses have you started, you yourself?
Three, I think. So I'm not one that just always dibs and dabs and starts and stops. And then two of those I still have. The other one, I mean, and then one is just one is more active than the other. I'm a State Farm agent and I'm also a real estate licensed broker. I don't really practice real estate right now, but my State Farm office still moves accordingly. And I'm approaching 13 years with State Farm and as a real estate broker since 2009. So
That is
I kind of
incredible.
in there.
And what's interesting is those are all of these. So you've got your real estate license, you've got your insurance license, which is that's not easy. That's not something no one can just show up one day. It's like getting a Chick-fil-A franchise. It kind of like that, right? Explain to people this. First of all, let's just talk about this. You're here to talk about Afro Unicorn, but some people that might not be their thing. Let's talk about for a hot minute about the passivity of the income once you get it rolling of being a State Farm insurance agent.
Yes, it's that residual income because my clients are all on renewals. So with State Farm, auto renews every 6 months, homeowner renews every year. And once you have that customer, you pretty much have them for life of the duration of either the home or the car, even if they move and they get another car, another home. So you constantly have that residual income. So unlike other businesses, the cost to get the customer is a lot lower than the acquisition cost in other businesses to get them. Because once you have them, you basically have everything. With State Farm, I sell everything. So we sell the life insurance, the home insurance, the car insurance. We could sell the disability insurance, and so you get the whole household. And then yeah, it's just that passive residual income that comes in.
And it is that stability that do you think helped you be able to kind of take a little bit of risk with Afro Unicorn?
Most definitely, but it also propelled me to take the risk because the model, without getting too much into um, detail about how it's set up with the insurance company that I'm with, if I were to pass away, I cannot give it to my child. It's not a legacy type of franchise. And that's when a light bulb went off in my head. And I said, I need to build something that I am able to give to my children and I'm able to leave a true legacy.
That is brilliant because one of the things that is important when we talk about entrepreneurship, of course, there's being very financially savvy. There's saving, there's stocks, there's real estate. There's all kinds of ways to create generational wealth. But when you're looking at the situation, like for example, a pension dies with you, I didn't know that your life and you couldn't pass that along to your kids, your customers. I didn't know that couldn't be transferred. So when looking at generational wealth, you had to find a new type of way to be an entrepreneur. And what we have found, perhaps you have shown one of the most brilliant ways, which is that same residual concept, but with IP that you own, intellectual property.
Correct. Afro Unicorn. That is the IP. And that is what I'm going to use to leave my legacy way past when I'm gone.
But just because you know how to do it, you know the importance of it, and you have the light bulb, you say this could be a thing, does not mean that it's easy.
Oh, no. It's not easy, but I think once you fixate on the idea of where you want this thing to go, the other parts will start floating in together. A lot of people start businesses not seeing the end. I started Afro Unicorn seeing that it would be a household name and a worldwide brand. And that I went to work.
You went to work. That's an understatement. Y'all, she's calm, cool, and collected in this interview. She is in these streets. You have taken this by storm. So let's just back up for a second. How did Afro Unicorn come about? The year was what?
2019.
Okay, that is just like yesterday. There's children not even in elementary school yet. And yet here we are. You came up with the idea. Literally, there's 5-year-olds that are still waiting to learn their ABCs. And you came up with this baby. And 5 years later, here we are in Walmart, CVS, Target, everywhere with over 100 different product lines, right? From
Yeah, so it's like 25 different categories, about 500 different SKUs out there.
And by SKU, that's that little barcode that's on the back of the item. And
Cor-
she has SKUs for hair care products, SKUs for luggage at Walmart, SKUs for t-shirts, SKUs for pajamas, SKUs for bonnets, everything you can think, of course, stuffed animals and toys and books and everything. And this all just came about. How did Afro Unicorn begin in 2019? It's actually related to your other businesses.
It began with a friend referring to me as a unicorn because I'm a single mother of two amazing boys and I own and operate the insurance agency. And at that time, I was really active as a real estate broker. And he kept saying, April, you are a unicorn. And I was like, why do you keep calling me that? He was like, because you got the businesses, you're raising the boys. I said, yeah, I'm a woman. That's what we do. He said, no, April, you are a unicorn. You do it at an extraordinary level. So that's how it started with him calling me that and then me investigating because I didn't even know what unicorns really were. I'm a boy mom, so I don't didn't and then for me, I didn't grow up with like My Little Pony. It was more like She-Ra. I was kind of, a little tomboyish. So I didn't know. I Googled them. I saw they were unique. They were divine. I mean, sorry, they were unique, mystical. I said, I'm definitely unique. I'm definitely black girl magic. And so I started to use the emoji on our phones over and over again until one day I said, why does it look like that? Why doesn't it look like me? I don't really resonate with this unicorn that's in my phone anymore. So I went back to Google to go find a unicorn that looked like me. I couldn't find it. And so I decided to be the change that I wanted to see. And that is how Afro Unicorn was birthed.
It's amazing. And so it wasn't like, okay, I have this idea. Because all of us have great ideas. That's where you come in. What I love about April is April knows many of us, black people are creative. We are ready with a business idea. But it takes so much more than that. And April has had the business idea that has come to fruition. So when you had the idea, an Afro unicorn, you didn't just sit there. You were just like, I hope that I can figure this out. You got to work immediately. What were the first steps when you realized there are no Afro unicorns? This could be my unicorn.
So the first step was reaching out to my cousin, who was a graphic artist at the time, and telling him, "Hey, I want a unicorn with the crown on her head, with eyeshadow, with earrings." Like I described exactly how I wanted her to be, and then he created that. When I saw it, it was different shades of it. I said, "You know what? This is bigger than just me. I was looking for an avatar, but this is a movement." So I started Afro Unicorn not as a brand, but as a movement. And it was to help other moms, other entrepreneurial women, for them to see the unicorn within themselves and to help push them along. So I said I can bring all of these women together and let them know you are a unicorn. You're an Afro unicorn. You have this superpower. So that's how it started. It started as really a social movement where I wanted to give you the product to represent who you were.
And like back up, let's just see the Afro Unicorn. This is the main one that started it all. We've now got iterations. We've now got a group of diverse Afro Unicorns, which I love because we're all so diverse.
Yes,
But
I launched it that way, just so you know. It was important. Like, I launched with three different shades. They used to be called vanilla, mocha, and caramel. Now unique, divine, and magical. But I always saw the world, saw us. We are all beautiful. We all come in different shades. So, of course, I'm going to launch this brand to represent who we all are.
so when you launched the brand, was this in a retail store? Was this in a pop-up shop? How did you launch the Afro Unicorn brand?
I launched it as an e-commerce Shopify store. Initially, I printed like the first shirts, like I got with a screen printer, and we printed the three different unicorns and we had them on the website. However, I figured out early on that that was going to be a problem because people loved the shirt. People were ordering because of what we were doing on the movement side. And unfortunately, I could not decipher, okay, I'm going to need five 3XLs with vanilla or six medium. So it was too difficult. So I immediately switched over to print on demand and launched this brand really efficiently, linking up with Printify, with Shopify to launch a e-commerce print on demand shop with accessories and shirts and all kind of stuff.
And that's a very important thing when you're looking at being a mompreneur. Just like when you start noticing your kid looking a little something's wrong, you got to pivot immediately to kind of fix the issue. Same thing with your business, right? Because you could have just kept going with your little Shopify, but that wasn't good enough. That's not the goal you had. You had the goal of the movement and meeting the customer where they were and what they needed.
Well, yes. So the Shopify store, what it was is that I wanted to scale and reach more people.
Mhm.
And knowing the capacity that I had to print the shirts myself, I wouldn't be able to fulfill thousands and thousands of orders, me doing it. So I needed to find a system that was able to produce more, which technically we haven't gotten into it yet. But now that I'm in licensing, like I really just took it to another level. So,
And the thing is, did you build it and then the viral moment happened? Or did the viral moment happen and then you realized you needed to scale up?
oh no, I definitely was building it before the viral moment wouldn't have happened unless I was building it because
So
the
if you
viral
hadn't
moment
been ready, you had to be ready. And that's the thing, you got to stay ready
you don't have
for
to.
your moment. Because when the viral, we'll talk about the viral moment, but when the viral moment happened that changed the game for Afro Unicorn, if you had not been at that moment prepared, like I'm ready for all of this with my POD, my print on demand, do you think you would have had the same outcome?
No, but okay, so it wasn't the print on demand. What helped the viral movement, well, the effect of the viral movement was the movement. It would never have been a viral, it would just have been a cute girl in a video. Because she was talking about her afro, she wasn't talking about her shirt. It
That's
was
true.
the movement behind it that I had built the time, and we haven't talked about it, but I built a platform for female entrepreneurs to support each other. I built this movement. I went into your comments. I said, hey, have you ever seen an Afro Unicorn before? I created a brand of women of color who hustle, follow the movement. And from the beginning of 2019, we got the likes of Tiffany Haddish, Alicia Keys, Sherry Shepard, all these celebrities to jump on board because they saw that I was sincerely supporting other female entrepreneurs, other young kids to lift them up, and they wanted to be a part of the movement. So the viral moment only happened because there was a movement behind it. So when there was a video of a little girl who posted and said, someone walked by her and said, "I love your hair." And the response was, "Thank you, it's an afro." She happened to be wearing an Afro Unicorn shirt. All the comments in every single post said, "That's Afro Unicorn's baby. That's Afro Unicorn's shirt. Go Afro Unicorn." And then the likes of the retailer, Walmart, saw in the comments the response, the movement of this, how this brand was affecting people, and then reached out to me.
That's absolutely okay. This is great. The backstory behind the backstory. First of all, there are so many layers to this, which is phenomenal. Because what the very fast rise again is due to the people, which is incredible. I knew it was, but I didn't know in this nuanced, layered way. So when we're looking at this, really, a theme I've noticed in a lot of my interviews this year in particular is the concept of networking across. Tiffany Jackson actually said it first. I don't like to network up. I like to network across and down, because that you got to rise up together. And by literally you were sliding into people's comments, letting them know, hey, you're a unicorn like me. We should connect. This is what's going on. When that moment came about, you had all of these good vibes.
Right. So that's the part. It's not the mechanics. It's not about you had the shop set up, which is all you do need all of that. But Walmart and my retailers, they don't use my print on demand store. And I have a whole nother model for licensing. But it was to know, does this character, is it going to produce people to show up for it? And so the work of building that movement behind it is what helped Afro Unicorn be in the position that it is in today. Because a lot of people get it so confused and conflicted on social media that all they have to do is go viral. But if you haven't built the foundation of that, it's just going to be a viral moment. It will not be a viral movement. Afro Unicorn turned a viral moment into a movement. Well, it was already moving. It was just part of the movement that was already there.
That is such an important distinction, a moment versus a movement. And honestly, April, that's why you have had this incredible success. You have this savvy, this innate know-how and understanding all of the, it's like you have three, it's like you're an owl. You can see all around you. Why? How do you know this? Like, so much of our conversations have to do with not knowing enough to get to where we need to go. How do you know all of this? Like, how did you know that? How is it all just inside of you? Is it some kind of business class? Is it just mentorship?
Definitely wasn't business class. It, I think it's just, when I grew up, I love Who's the Boss. I've always loved marketing, and I'm old, so y'all probably like, what's Who's the Boss? But
I know who's
Angela,
the boss.
okay,
She had
Angela
her
was a
power
marketing.
suit.
Yeah, so I was like, when a little girl, I was like, I paid attention to commercials and billboards because of the show that I liked. So I've always had this thing for marketing, right? And then my mom named me April Showers. I'm like, I'm a great dancer, but I'm not a great singer. But my name is supposed to do something in this world. So I've always been on the quest to like, okay, something's gonna happen with this name one day, where people are gonna connect it. So I don't know. I just always had, it's in me. I've always just had this marketing thing about me, and being able to get my name or whatever I want heard, said, heard, or whatever. I don't know, but I didn't know Instagram when I started Afro Unicorn. I did not even have an Instagram account. But I learned it, and I learned that there were hashtags, that there were people that were coining themselves Black Unicorn, and we had mom entrepreneurs, and all these tags. I would find them in my recent search, and I would have a goal of, I want to talk to 50 people every single day. I want to be able to connect on social media with 50 people to tell them about this movement that I'm building, and I did that every day. I just learned just certain things in life, like consistency matters. Consistency is what's going to break one brand from the next brand. I learned that from the little engine that could. I mean,
Oh my God, oh God, my mom, anytime I was doing something important, whether it was the Miss America pageant or getting married, she would send me my childhood version of the little engine that could. And she had this little card that would say, I think you can too. And I was like, I love you, mommy. But you're so right. It is literally, you have to think it. No matter how bizarre it is, no matter how crazy it is to think that you and your Afro Unicorn could be the first black owned, woman founded business to sell a licensed character brand in major retail. You got to think it, and then you can be it.
Right. And honestly, a lot of my childhood books, so shout out to you for being an author, a children's author, because those books matters. The little red hen, the tortoise and the hare. Like all of those books play a role in my life
Girl,
today.
Aesop's Fable. I tell myself all the time, I joke with my husband on a day I have not been productive. I don't want to be like the little red hen's friends. I don't want to have no bread. And also,
And
shout
we
out to you. No, but shout out to you too for being a children's book author. I love how that was one of the first things that you brought into your fold because you understand the importance of education via story because it's a palatable way to get your
correct.
information.
Correct. And one of the lines that I hope will be part of my legacy, like the red hand is now, part of everyone else's. There's a line in one of my books that says, "Believing in yourself is the greatest superpower of all." So if I can get a child to get a hold of that book and hear that message, they'll be just like me,
No,
unstoppable.
you're absolutely unstoppable. Okay, so this is how we got here, which is incredible. There's lots more moving pieces, but the impetus, the beginning is really what matters to anyone listening, right? Just like setting the groundwork, doing the lead work, not just sitting and waiting for people to come to you, but sliding into them DMs, sliding into them comments, no matter how hard, have no shame when your intent is good. What a great thing to be sliding into people. Hey, you're a unicorn, just like my unicorn. What a wonderful message that people would receive. There's nothing better, quite frankly.
Correct. And also being consistent. That is so important. And show up every day. Like, I know it gets hard and we want to take breaks, but if you are in this for the long haul, you really have to show up. You can't take breaks like the fast hair who could be like, you know what, I got this. I don't have to post today. I don't have to post right now. I don't have to call anyone. I could do it later. Meanwhile, the little tortoise is like, just gonna keep on chucking, keep on chucking.
Yeah, I think I can. I think I can. Oh, and the thing is, though, it seems from outside that you're moving at the speed of light. But what do you think it is? Is it speed of light or is it consistency?
You said it, the latter part. I I can't say anything different. Like there is no secret sauce, there is no secret formula. I show up every single day. Not a lot of people show up every day. If you think about the greats, think about Kobe Bryant. He talks about how the team would hang out late at night, and he wouldn't do that. He wanted to make sure he was at the gym at 4 a.m. every single morning. He wanted to make sure he was on the court shooting his jump up shots or whatever they're called every single day. That's what made him great. It really separates the good from the great. It's how you show up on a consistent basis every single day.
Okay, now here's the rub, right? There's a reason the show is called Mompreneur and not Entrepreneur because when I talk to you, when I see you on the internet, I have such goals. You are my spirit animal, but I am a mom, and like, how do you do it? I mean this with all sincerity. How do you show up every day for this business, like a Kobe, right?
Mhm.
And still parent. That is the magical unicornness. And I think that's what the person meant originally when the real estate broker. Like, how do you parent well with these two amazing boys and parent your baby business?
Well, from the beginning, I've always kept them somewhat involved with the business. Even if it was when they were 2, 3 years old, just emptying out the trash cans in the office. Just
Which
and
kids
now that
love, by the way. It's not even considered labor. I would love, because my mama's business, I would love filing receipts or licking stamps. It's honestly really great for the kids. So if anybody's nervous about, oh, well, I don't want to ruin their childhood by making them into, workers, I think it's actually the opposite, April. And I think you agree.
It builds character. Look at you today.
Look at your
So,
kids. We're charactery.
right.
We're
It
not
builds,
licensed character, but we got character.
not yet. It's coming.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but it builds character, and my oldest son, he we title him the COO. He's the chief operating officer of Afro Unicorn. He knows everything that I know, if not more, and everyone on the team respects him. He's 17 years old, but he's been on this journey with me from day one, and he loves being on this journey. And his brother is like, okay, when he goes off to school, then I'm going to step in. So
Oh, I love that. That is the best. They have a secession plan. It's not going to be like secession on TV. It's going to be like happy secession.
right. So I really think when you're a parent. So I hate the question. Thank you that you didn't ask me. You didn't say the word, how do you balance? And a lot of times people will say, how do you balance motherhood with child? And balancing is when, you got 50 here, 50 there, and you get to an equal 100. You can't do that. You got to be a parent 100% of the time. Like you got to be on. You got to be a parent. You got to be a business owner. You got to be a wife, and there's no like percentage. There's no pie. They all want that 100% of you, so you got to show up 100. So that balancing thing, I don't even subscribe to balance.
A decade ago, I interviewed Niecy Nash, and I think I said to her the B word, balance. And she was so politely, she's like, nah, there's no balance. She was just like, I like to think of all the things like balls I'm juggling. You got your family ball, you got your career ball, you got your personal ball, blah, blah, blah. And the goal is just to not let the same ball drop twice. I think about that all the time because I'm always dropping a ball, but I very rarely drop the same ball twice. And if I do, I'm like, yo, I am very sorry, and I own it, and I explain why, and everyone always is very forgiving. You just gotta keep it real and keep them balls in the air best you can.
You know what? I'm so happy to know that Niecy Nash answered that question like that and didn't like the word balance either.
No, 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 no. It was amazing. And again, and that's what is so great. I love interviewing incredible women like yourself because I'm growing. None of us have any answers. I always say, whenever I'm frustrated about not knowing what's going on, like you were frustrated, which is why you do the work that you do in the community to share this wealth of information. This information was kept from us purposefully. We purposefully have no idea what to do. And it's up to us to own that and bring it back into the community. So with that in mind, all of us want to know, including myself, and I've talked to you before, and it's still confusing and complicated. What does it even mean to have a quote unquote licensed character brand in major retail?
Okay, so you did a great job explaining when you said like Disney princess or Mickey Mouse, and now we'll have Afro Unicorn. My products sit on the shelves directly next to those particular products, right? So if you're looking for Afro Unicorn, wherever you're looking for your favorite character, that's where you will find Afro Unicorn. So basically, I own this IP called Afro Unicorn, which then I'm able to maybe the word lease it out. So I'm still the owner, but I get to lease out the usage for someone to produce said products like the hair care that you mentioned, or we have underwear. Those are all considered different categories, apparel. And so we have these partners that manufacture their category, and then they come to me and say, April, if you allow me to use Afro Unicorn and make underwear or fruit snacks, I'll pay you a minimum guarantee against the amount of purchase orders that I'm going to receive at retail, and I'll give you a royalty amount based off of the sales that we do together. I remain 100% owner because I'm just leasing, so I'm the owner of the property, as well as for and quality control and concept control. So I control how I want the products to display and at the level of quality that I want them to be at.
So without remotely diminishing this, because we'll talk about the nitty gritty, because it's not all easy street. But essentially, once you have established this brand, which is very hard to do, which is why you're the first black-owned, woman-owned business to do it, essentially it's like free print and press of money.
Yes, but then you have to market. You gotta market because they're not gonna
You
market for
gotta
you.
work. Yeah, totally. But it's like free printed press of money. It is.
Yeah.
It's basically free printed press of money, which is why there's so few that can do it, which is why there's none of us doing it. Because who wants to give up their free printing press of money?
Wait, you say you're free what?
Your free printing press of money. Essentially, like, if you have built the characters already exist, the
Mm-hmm.
images exist, you've made the image, they're putting it on there, and your responsibility is simply to say, hey, let's see my bonnets, hey, see magical tresses, hey, see my things, and money comes. It's ironically like a job, but it's a job that you still own the stuff that you're creating for the world. Does that make sense? Am I explaining this well
Yeah,
or no?
I just never heard that part. The print. What you saying? Say it one more
Oh, it's,
time.
I always think that. Oh, sorry, it's a big joke that we. So my whole thing is I'm always trying to make my books. So use the IP of my books, the intellectual property, because once it's out in the world, I don't have anything to do. It's like a printing press of money. It's like royalties. It's just the money shows up. It's the minimum
Right.
guarantee that you mentioned, and that's what creates the generational wealth that you realize you could not have with your State Farm insurance.
Correct. Because we own it now. We really, really own it.
You own it, just like Hyundai owns the car that you lease. When you stop paying those payments, who does the car go back to? Them. And then they can go and
Right.
sell that and lease it to someone else in perpetuity. You will forever own this. That is something so valuable. I'm sure, I know you are aware of how valuable and blessed you are to have figured this out.
Yeah, I'm grateful every day. I write a gratitude journal, 10 things that I'm grateful for each day. Having this business is definitely one of them. But that's why it's so passionate to me to make sure I do what I need to do as far as to market the brand. So I really appreciate you for having me on your platform because it's all about getting the word out. And I'm competing against the biggest of the biggest brands out there who have billion-dollar budgets. They are a legacy brands. They've been here for 50 to 100 plus years, and we're the new kids on the block. So every single platform I'm thankful for. So Nancy, I'm truly thankful for you having me on this platform to get the word out because this is the only way the brand will survive.
It's absolutely incredible, and it's a worthwhile cause. And it's really hard because not only are you up against these huge brands, you're up against the huge brands with, and you got huge brand problems. Like like I'm joking about it being a printing press. I mean, it is a printing press compared to a lot of things, but it also requires shrewd action, shutting down imposters, a lot of savvy people, and a team that you have to pay for. It's when you scale, as Taraji Henson said, when you scale, your team scales with you. You know, it's not all profit. It's an easier run of it, but you have to make a lot of difficult decisions that no one can make but you. That's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Correct. It is. And I wake up every day, but as the quote says, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I wear the crown. My unicorn is the only unicorn that wears the crown. So heavy is our head that wears the crown. It's part of it. It's part of the job that I signed up for. It's part of this movement. I take it on. I try to do the best I can with my self care. Like I do the journal. I do my gratitudes. My alarm goes off 3 times a day for me to check my thoughts to make sure I'm having positive thoughts and I'm thinking about the best possible outcomes because it's a lot. And not only is it a lot just because of all the products that are out there, also I understand how deep this is. If Afro Unicorn as a licensed character brand owned by a black woman doesn't do well, they will not allow another one in.
Oh,
And
it's
that's
the
just the way.
first of all, let's just talk about how unfair that is because many characters don't do well, but then others get a chance in the same ilk. But here you are, everything is riding on your success. However, couldn't have picked a better first because this is phenomenal. Is there anyone who doesn't? Have you gotten any pushback? Is there any reason you could not love Afro Unicorn? I can't think of one. A
Oh,
legitimate one.
they think of thoughts all the time. I see them in the comments, but for
Girl,
the
I'm not
most
paying attention to them.
For the most part, it's been very, very well received. Very, very well received.
Anytime I say, "Oh, mom, oh, Afro Unicorn's coming on Mompreneurs," I love Afro Unicorn. Oh my gosh, I love Afro Unicorn. So thank you for being here with me. Yeah, I would love if you could do. I like to ask all of my mompreneurs, what is your business or life mantra? What are some words to live by for people who are interested in following in your footsteps?
Words to live by. I'm going to quote Nemo, just keep swimming. I mean,
How we first and foremost. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, step one. This is so great because you know what's really great? Also, know your world. You know your world. You got all the cool. You have receipts about these licensed characters, where they live, what they're talking about, who they are, their ethos, their purpose. Great job, April. Oh, all right. Our time is almost up, but of course, I cannot let you leave without participating in my favorite segment. I ask everyone. It's called Mompreneurs Manifestation, and I always ask my guests what's next for you, or what you're hoping comes next, and how we can help manifest success in this endeavor for you.
oh, that's easy. I need Afronia to come to life. So Afronia is the place where the unicorns live and dwell. So we're looking now either some type of location-based entertainment, whether it be a resort hotel
Yes.
or like an activity center, like a Chuck E. Cheese type, or Great with Lodge. We
Oh
could
my
combine the
gosh.
two, but we gotta have a Fronia. We gotta have a place where we could visit and we can experience African corn. We're already in the Roblox. We're already in that experience, so we want to bring that to
Okay.
life.
We need to talk about that. That recently happened. Y'all, Afro Unicorn has a Roblox. You can spend your Roblox cash or Roblox blocks. I don't know. My kids are constantly asking for this stuff.
Robux, Robux,
I knew it was
Robux.
something. It's very stressful. For those of us who don't have a licensed character in Roblox, this Roblox stuff. Because I'm just like, where's this money going? They're going to go to Roblox. I'm like, where? I'm be like, unless you buying them Afro Unicorns, don't buy nothing. Nothing else. Okay.
That part.
But for the audience who doesn't understand, what is Afronia? For those of y'all who are just finding out about this incredible world, what is Afronia?
Afronia is the home of the Afro Unicorn. So, like, you have Disneyland, that's the home of Mickey, Minnie, all the Disney characters. We have Afronia, that will be the home of Afro Unicorn. So, in all of our books, they're all inside of Afronia. We have the Land of Afronia coming in July, which is our graphic novel. But yes, so I want you guys to really be able to get in your cars, planes, trains, and wherever we open a Fronia, that's where I want you guys to be. So we'll be talking more. Stay connected with me because I'll be giving opportunities. I think for this is such a huge undertaking that we're probably going to open it up for investors, for people to be a part of it. But it's going to happen because I already see it.
I have so many thoughts that I'm not sharing in public domain, but this is kind of amazing. What a great thing to manifest because it's where I want to go. It's very exciting to have a brand to spend your dollars on and know where it's going. And what the crown on the unicorn, the earrings, the amazing hair. It's just a stroke of genius, but every stroke of genius needs a genius to market it behind them. And you are indeed a unicorn. And we are so grateful that you shared your wisdom with us today, April Showers.
Thank you, Nancy.
Can you please tell us where we can find you? Where can people look? What are the places that you like for them to go and purchase your products right now?
Okay. Tap into afrounicorn.com. When you go on there, you'll see a list of all the places that we're on, from Target to Walmart, CVS. You'll see all of that. And then follow us on social at afrounicorn_official. I am Got April Showers on social. And I've built my Magic Manifestors collective on
Oh,
my page. I am April Showers. It's a free community where I'm just feeding you guys information because unfortunately, no, I cannot answer your fast question in my DM. How do I start a brand? So what I'm doing is curated a bunch of content to help you in your journey, and it lives on IamAprilShowers.com. Again, it is free, and it will have really amazing guests that broke into the toy industry that broke into writing and all kind of different things, where I interview them and ask them, how did you do it? Because I want to help the next person for
Okay,
free.
between the we both have manifesting loves. We both love the little red hen, which I don't know anyone else who ever talk. You are the first person in my entire existence to ever talk about the little engine that could and the little red hen, and I'm just obsessed. You're absolutely the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Mompreneurs. As a reminder, a brand new episode will go live each Monday on Urban One Podcast Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit urban1podcasts.com to learn more. That's urban, the number one podcasts.com. Mompreneurs is brought to you by the Urban One Podcast Network and MadameNoire. Created, produced, and hosted by me, Nancy Wren. Executive produced by Sarita Wesley, Allison McGovna, and Tanya Hoffler-Moore. Produced and edited by Jiminique Miller.